first job when I applied for it, I remember Scott Chowinski was on the phone with me. He was one of the owners of the business, which is rare. You don't get to talk to the owners of the business.
Not often.
So he calls me and he says, well, tell me about your sales experience. I'm like, well, I don't have any experience selling a product per se, but as a therapist, I have to sell myself and my treatment plans on a regular basis, and I think it's wildly harder to sell myself as a person than it is to sell the benefits of a product. He's like, I've been doing sales for 30 years. That's the best answer I've ever heard from a non-salesperson. I was like, thanks.
There you go.
So there was the job. But, because most healthcare individuals, and I hear it all the time, I don't want to be salesy. I'm like, this is not 80s used car sales.
Exactly.
This is selling based upon the idea that what you have can benefit your patients, your clients, whoever it may be. And so that was my first, how old was I at that point? Early 30s, right? And or right at 30, having my first sales job and really learning to love that and make those connections and find out, not so much can I just sell you something to sell you something, but how do I serve you with the products that I have, and do they help your patients or your office run better or give you better outcomes? If they don't, then I'm not going to sell it to you, right? And I think this is where sales gets a bad rap.
Well, there are definitely people who are in the convincing mode. So when it comes to sales, you, in my opinion, I think you really have two paths you can go down. You can go down the convincing path or the persuasion path. Convincing is basically trying to get them to adopt my beliefs and my decision on what the outcome should be, and just push them either through sheer effort, repetition, browbeating, whatever it may be. That's the used car salesman type of approach. Whereas persuasion is simply going through a dialogue with someone, helping them to uncover what they already know to be true, and the solution that we have is a valuable solution. Because at the end of the day, if you can diagnose a problem and you have the remedy for the problem, you have a moral obligation to share it. So it's no longer quote-unquote sales, it's solutions providing.
I love it. I love the moral obligation, right? Because, and this is, I hear this all the time, it feels unethical to sell to people who come to my practice and want their insurance to pay for everything. And I'm like, okay, since we're going to talk about morality and ethics, right? Is it more or less unethical to sell somebody a product that they have to pay cash for that could directly influence their behavior or their health? And everybody stops and thinks about it. And they're like, well, I guess it is more unethical not to sell it to them. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, but I just don't want to be salesy. Jesus bless. Are you kidding me? Like, it is a revolving door of people who just don't understand how valuable that skill set is.
Exactly. And again, all you have to do is just ignore the word sales. Just talk, learn about the situation, say, oh, interesting. And then look back into what you have within your repertoire. I have something that can solve that.
Right.
And that's it. You don't have to say, do you want to buy it? It's not you being active, because if you've done your job with regard to demonstrating you care about the person you're serving, you now understand what their situation is, and you literally have something that can provide them a solution, there is no sales that takes place.
Right.
All you're doing now is fulfilling, because they're going to ask. You're going to go through that process, and if you've done what you've set out to do, meaning truly get to know the person you're serving, know what their issues are, diagnose their problem. If you have the solution, all you need to do is share the fact that you have a solution.